Good afternoon, everyone. It is Bree back again on this Monday afternoon on the 6th of March, which is a pretty special day for me because it's the last day that my little boy is 9. My husband's laughing and shaking his head. Our son turns 10 tomorrow, almost a decade old, and it just spins me out. Doesn't time spin you out? It goes so quick, and we can get so caught up in what time means while we're in the thick of events and circumstances. But in the general scheme of things, it is just another day, and before you know it, 10 years is gone, and you know, you're a totally different person. When I think back on who I was 10 years ago and who I am today, I'm still me, but I've grown a hell of a lot, and I'm kind of proud of that journey. So I guess that's a nice little reminder for you all to remember at times that every day, every moment that pulls you into a vortex of crap is literally just a moment, and in 10 years time, whatever it is that you're worrying about today is not even going to matter. It won't even be on your radar because so much is going to happen between now and then. So how do we keep perspective? How do we get beyond the negative thinking and those negative thoughts so that we can start to keep that and you know, line in mind, and that is that time is going to continue to move. The reason that I wanted to talk about this today is because I've actually had a number of ladies contact me over the last few days and share very similar concerns. That is, either they themselves lack confidence, or they've got daughters or sisters that suffer from lack of confidence and get very lost and caught up in worrying what other people think of them, particularly the negative thoughts of what other people have to say. And it got me to thinking, because I know for myself that same kind of issue used to happen to me quite a lot. I'd get so caught up in the negative of what people perceived me to be that I kind of lost sight of my own experiences that could validate that all of what they were saying was in fact wrong. So while I was thinking about this, I got to thinking about what actually starts negative self-talk in the first place. And quite often where negative self-talk comes from is because we have either compared ourselves to someone else and compared ourselves to the fraction of the picture that we're seeing when it comes to that other person that we're comparing against. We either overhear that something someone says and perceive that to be about us because it reflects our own inner insecurities, or someone who we love and respect has maybe said something to us that, although it has come from a good place of intention, of kindness and love, maybe they're trying to protect us, maybe they're trying to avoid the possibility of us failing and therefore being hurt, or whatever it might be, those words that they use still hurt, they still wound our hearts. And so what is it that we can do to eliminate those negative thoughts in the moment so that we can let them go and replace them with something that is more self-serving, such as confidence? And what I came up with was a writing exercise for you. Now, I'm a big believer in journaling at the best of times, and there's a lot of strategies that I teach my clients in regards to analysing what they journal so that they can get a different perspective on their thoughts. But to simplify it all for this particular instance, what I'm going to encourage you to do is, when you recognize that you are getting caught up, when you are losing yourself because of either the negative beliefs that you have of your own ability or who you are as a person, or the negative beliefs that someone else has put onto you, what I'm going to encourage you to do is to grab a piece of paper and then set the timer for 2 to 3 minutes. Now, the reason that I'm giving you a time limit is because we know the more time you spend negatively dwelling on those thoughts, the more negative emotions you're going to attach to those stories. So let's limit the amount of soul searching we do with this particular exercise to 2 or 3 minutes only, or one piece of paper, no more than one piece of paper. And what I want you to do, or no, not what I want you to do, what I'm going to encourage you to do, because ultimately it is up to you whether or not you take this advice on board and whether you give it a go. But what I'm going to encourage you to do is list all of the thoughts that you're telling yourself exactly as you're telling them on paper. So if you're saying things to yourself like, I'll fail, I'm not good enough, I'm stupid, I can't do this, if you've got the thoughts of mum or dad or grandma saying you'll never amount to anything, or, you know, do you really think... I remember one dear family friend that we had at the time said to me when I originally used to talk about being a lawyer. Back in the day, in high school, I wanted to be a lawyer. And this very well-intending family friend of mine said to me, "Now, Bree, you don't honestly believe you've got what it takes to be a lawyer, do you?" Now, those words were said because she didn't want to see me hurt, and she didn't want to see me spend, you know, hours training for something that really wasn't me. However, the message hurt me so much, and it really crushed my confidence about what I thought I was capable of, because anytime I then went to do something, can you see this wind? Anytime I went to do something, I had her voice in my head saying, "Now, Bree, you really don't think you can do that, do you?" So if you've got instances such as that, where someone has said something to you and you cannot let go of their voice in your head, write it down on a piece of paper. Can you hear me okay with this wind? It's so windy here. I might go inside actually. I can see I've got a few of you online. I'm not sure who you are, but hello. There we go, it's a bit better. Okay, so I want you to list down all of the stories that you're telling yourself, whether they are stories you have created or stories that you have heard from someone else. Write them down onto a piece of paper, and then, because you have acknowledged them exactly as they are in your head, put them down so they are now in black and white. You have choices that you can make in regards to how much these words have power over you. And the simplest way to do it is to simply look at each item individually, one at a time, and look at it and say, okay, am I going to accept this belief of myself? Am I going to validate it and believe that it is truth and find truth by allowing it to continue to cycle in my head? Or can I reject this statement as truth by looking for examples that prove it is wrong? So, for example, where my particular family friend said to me, "You don't honestly believe that you can do this," I would write that down on a piece of paper, and then I'm going to look at it and say, well, I'm rejecting that because I believe now that I can in fact do whatever I set my mind to. Now, what examples do I have of me actually being able to do that and achieve it and prove to myself that I can do whatever I want to do? Well, I've succeeded in business a number of times, so I would write down examples that prove to me logically that this particular sentence is bullshit. Same with "I'm not good enough," or if you've had someone ever say to you, "You're stupid, you don't have the brains to do it, you can't do it, you've already failed once, you'll fail again." List them down and then look for examples in your life experience where you have risen above that belief. And I promise you, I know that there are examples in each and every one of your lives that will prove that whatever negative thought you are saying to yourself is absolute bullshit. Even if the evidence that you're looking for is something small. It doesn't have to be a gigantic win. It doesn't have to be a great story of accomplishment or achievement. It could be something very, very simple, but if your brain recognises that that belief is wrong by even a tiny fraction because you've been able to find evidence that supports the fact that it is BS, then your brain is going to hang on to that evidence. So the next time you think to yourself, "I'm stupid, I can't do it, I'm not good enough," your brain is going to go, "Yeah, but remember when this happened?" And so all of a sudden, your brain is going to be working for you by remembering the evidence that supports the fact that you can do whatever it is that you want to do. You are brave, you are strong, you are confident and capable, and everything that you want in your life, you are. You just have to shift the way that your brain is focusing and remembering those examples. So I hope that this practical exercise helps you to at least shift some of the intensity around those thoughts. And remember with those thoughts that they are a lot like children. They are going to continue to cycle and recycle through your brain until you give them validation, until you recognise them, acknowledge them, and then do something with them. And this particular tip, as simple as it might be, is at least giving you a proactive step to get out of the overwhelming headspace thinking process that you're in into, I'm going to take action and I'm going to prove to myself that I can and am and are and will be whoever it is that I want to be. So there's my words for today. I hope that it has been of benefit to you. I can't see whether we're getting comments or not. Facebook keep changing things around and it just confuses me. So I can't see whether or not you have commented. If you have commented, please rest assured that I will comment back at some point. Now, if you have resonated, if there has been some kind of resonation in regards to what I've spoken about regarding the negative head talk, regarding those thoughts from either yourself or from exterior sources, then you would have noticed this morning I put up a post to indicate that I am taking spaces now for Own Your BS Take 2. So this is the 9-week group program that is commencing on the 1st of May. I'm halfway through the first intake now, and the girls that are in the current program are getting fantastic results. They still have shit going on in their lives. All of them have exterior circumstances and situations that could be, sort of pulling them down and weighing them down. But all of them are relying and using the strategies that I've been teaching over the last 6 weeks so that they feel like they're coming from a more place of power, which is a really, really cool thing to be able to witness, and that is the entire purpose of the course. It's to give you the strategies, because life, regardless of what kind of therapy, what kind of self-help, what kind of counselling or coaching you do, life is going to continue to happen to you. And so it is so important that you know, one, how to get through the BS in your head, how to process it and analyse it so that you can work through it and become rational. And secondly, how to address it in a way that allows you to detach from the emotion very, very quickly. Because the quicker you do that, the more you can take your power back and take ownership and responsibility and make different choices for your life. So Own Your BS Take 2 starts on the 1st of May. You would have noticed that I am now offering an extended payment plan for that program. It is 9 weeks before the program starts. The program itself goes for 9 weeks. So should you choose to sign up this week, you have the option of paying the program off over 18 weeks, which is pretty cool. There are no extended fees on any of that. It's all included in the cost. So if you were looking at Own Your BS in January but couldn't make it happen for whatever reason and you're considering it now, this is a great time to get involved. Through the 9 weeks, I'll be teaching you a lot of strategies. I'll be teaching you a lot about your female factor. Each participant has 3 one-on-one phone calls with me so that we can really start to hone in on what your issues are and then work on strategies that are specific for you. We also do a lot of work on your values and your belief systems. Every single participant will receive a free copy of my Own Your BS, the book. When it comes out, it'll be a digital version that will be gifted to you, so you will get that as soon as it's available. And it's amazing. It's a really, really great program. So if you'd like to know more information, please feel free to private message me or email me at Bree@breestedman.com. I'm trying to work out a way to deliver a webinar via live feed to you here in this Facebook group, which I want to do this week sometime. So it'll either be a live video or I will run another webinar one day this week so that you can learn more about why Own Your BS is such a powerful female personal development program. So stay tuned for that, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Until then, have fun journaling, get those thoughts out of your head onto a piece of paper, and then remember, you get the power. You can choose to validate it with examples that leave you feeling like crap, or you can validate it, or you can reject it by looking for evidence that supports the fact that the BS stories you're telling yourself are in fact BS. So give it a go. Let me know how you go with it, and I'd love to know your experience with that particular program. And I've got a little girl who's trying to get my attention, so I'd best be off to see her now. But thank you so much for tuning in, for all of you, and I hope to connect with you again very soon. Bye bye.